Welcome to Page to Picture. I'm your host, Kim.
And I'm your host, Tiff, and today we are diving into the timeless classic, Romeo and Juliet, but we are not doing it alone.
No, we are not. We are thrilled to introduce a very special collaboration episode with the hilarious and amazing duo from the podcast Two Chicks and a Plot Twist, Haley and McKaylee.
Hi. Hello. Thanks for having us.
They are two bookish besties that share their latest reads, rants, and revelations, and we couldn't be more excited to have them on board as we explore the iconic tale of love, tragedy, and star-crossed fate.
Yes, so grab your popcorn or maybe a glass of wine, and let's talk about Romeo and Juliet, the movie, the drama, and all the twists in between. Did you see what I did there?
Yeah. I love.
Good. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing this collab with us. We're so excited to have you here. But before we get into it, why don't you two introduce yourselves to our listeners?
Go ahead. Hey, everyone. My name's Haley. I'm one of the co-hosts of Two Chicks and a Plot Twist. We've been doing this since November, and we're so glad to be here. Page to Picture is our very first podcast collaboration. So excited to have these two ladies, talking with them. So excited to get into everything.
We're excited to have you here.
Yay, and I'm McKaylee. I'm also co-host of Two Chicks and a Plot Twist. I do all the behind-the-scenes editing and stuff for our podcast. Haley is our social media girl, so you'll catch me in the back. You'll see her, front and center, but as it should be. But yeah, I'm very excited to be here too, and we've both been looking forward to this for a very long time. So I'm very happy it's finally here. I remember when we were going through, I think originally we were talking about doing The Princess Bride, and so we finally got to Romeo and Juliet. Yeah. So I felt like I was really reliving a bit of my childhood when I was like rewatching this film. Oh, but I'm so ready to dive in.
Oh my God, we're so excited. Real quick, we were curious what happened with The Princess Bride.
So I started listening to it, and then it was just so boring. And then I went down like a Reddit rabbit hole, which I'll stay on those for hours. And it was basically like everyone was saying, this is one of those instances where the book was bad, but the movie was so good. And I am more of a book girl.
Like, D and F, like we're not doing this.
Yeah.
Like I can't do that. So I was talking to Michaela. I was like, do you think like they'd want to switch? And McKaylee hadn't started then. She was like, you should ask.
So like ahead that we had like plenty of time.
Oh
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah, Haley was like, why did we pick this? Let me throw you under the bus real quick. Haley was like, dude, this is so boring.
The movie is so good.
I love the movie.
Yeah, the movie's like iconic.
Yes, I have that on DVD. Like, not that I have a DVD player anymore, but I had it because I saw it. But like, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, but anyways,
Yeah, so we won't read it. That's fine.
It's understandable though, because sometimes we're reading books and like I don't like it or Kim doesn't like it, and we're like, let's just not do that.
No, we're changing it.
We're gonna change it.
right.
It's so funny. Okay. All right. Before we get into this episode, we like to know what everyone's history is with the play and the movie. So, Kim, do you want to start it off?
Yeah. So I remember reading this back in school. It was like either middle school or high school. And as far as like the 1968 film, I never saw it prior to this episode, or if I did see it, I honestly don't remember. Like if I had to watch it in school, it was probably like, whatever, turn the lights off, I'll probably take a nap. Like I'm not gonna watch this. But I do remember seeing the 1996 Leonardo DiCaprio's Romeo and Juliet. Like that is my Romeo. But what about you, Tiff?
I read Romeo and Juliet in high school like everyone else did. And I do remember watching parts of the 1968 film in class. And I remember I did like a little essay because we had to write an essay about it. And I talked about how it was cool to see like the characters from the play and the book like portrayed on film, which is like foreshadowing to like what we do now. So I thought it was really funny. But I honestly, like, now that I think about it, I think that this is where my love for like the tragic love or forbidden love like comes from, because like I love those types of stories.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's where my lore started, was with Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
I also read it back in high school, but I've never seen any of the movie adaptations, so it was nice sort of seeing it now, envisioning it into the movie, and just seeing the play come to life.
Yeah, and I also, like everyone else, read Romeo and Juliet in high school, and I watched this exact movie in our English class after we finished reading the play. But like even before high school, I remember having on DVD the Leonardo DiCaprio version. So like I already knew about Romeo and Juliet prior. Like I watched, Mr. Leonardo DiCaprio,
Romeo.
Chef's Kiss. Yes, yes, yes.
Chef's kiss.
But yeah, and also I'm a huge theater nerd, so anything Shakespeare is right up my alley. So it just kind of goes hand in hand with my life.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice. All right, so let's get into some information about the play. All right. So Romeo and Juliet was written by William Shakespeare in the late 1500s. The story is set in Verona, Italy, and revolves around two young lovers, Romeo and Juliet, from feuding families, the Montagues and the Capulets. Despite the bitter rivalry between their families, Romeo and Juliet fall deeply in love at first sight. Their secret marriage leads to a series of tragic events, including the deaths of both lovers. Its themes of love, fate, and family conflict resonate across generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? I don't know what I'm saying. Sometimes I just start a sentence and I don't know where it ends up.
I do that too.
Quick segment into our transition to our next event.
But why do you guys think that this story has stood the test of time?
So I think the story of love and conflict is what makes Romeo and Juliet stand the test of time. The idea of love facing obstacles, I feel it's something like everybody can relate to this day. Especially, I have a stepdaughter and she's a teenager. And it's that whole like, but I love him. I want to be with him always.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh my God. But then I remember like I used to be that way too with my mom. Like, I love him. I want to be with him. I want to spend all time with him. Like, you don't get it. So I feel like it's just a lot of people could relate to that love and conflict.
Yeah. And to piggyback on what Kim said, I agree that the characters, as dramatic as it all was, are somewhat relatable to people, especially to those of like in the young love. Yeah, we've all been there. We've all done some things where we're like, that was a little dramatic now that we think about it. But in the moment, it was like, I love them, So I feel like to this day, people can just understand the feelings of love, anger, and confusion, not understanding why they can't be together. And that's really what this story is. And I think that's what makes this story like memorable even now. It being written in the 1500s, people still talk about it. It's like, it's just, you can connect to it so easily.
Yeah. Romeo and Juliet was definitely enemies to lovers before enemies to lovers existed.
Right.
Or at least the very beginning of it. Forbidden romance is very, I think, closely related to enemies to lovers. So I think enemies to lovers really stemmed from the whole family dynamic because obviously their families hated each other, which made their love forbidden. But, I mean, the trope had to begin somewhere, and I think that's where it started. But it also helps that this play stood the test of time because this isn't Shakespeare's only successful play. I mean, he's written 38 plays, and that includes really successful ones like Hamlet, Julius Caesar, and A Midsummer Night's Dream. So he's got a lot of plays under his belt, and they've all been pretty successful. So, what about you, Haley?
I'm just piggybacking off of everyone. Romeo and Juliet has really stood the test of time. It really captures just the drama of forbidden romance and the tragic consequences of miscommunication. And that's just things that resonate with everyone still today.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yep.
So now we're going to talk about the 1968 film adaptation, Romeo and Juliet. The director is Franco. I am the worst with the names. And I feel like, Haley, you said it just good.
Franco Zeffirelli.
Zeffirelli.
Are you using an N?
Is
Because
that
I
an
don't
N?
see an N in there, Haley.
Zeffirelli.
There is no N in this name.
Where am I seeing an N? Where?
I hear
And
Okay,
Zeffirelli.
that's what I'm saying.
No, that's
Zeffirelli.
Zeffirelli, I think. Oh, there is an R. It's not.
Zeffirelli?
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
Director V, okay? If you just pull up 1968 Romeo and Juliet, you will find.
Yeah.
Casting choices, you have Leonard Whiting as Romeo and Olivia Hussey as Juliet. And Leonard was 16 while playing Romeo, and Olivia was 15 while playing Juliet. Which I had to like fast forward during this film. So I was like, this is like
So did I.
And coming from someone who loves smut, I was like, I can't. This is
No, they're like actually kids.
Yeah, it's
This
just
is like probably before the real laws applied, like nudity and everything.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
okay.
Which brings us into our segment that we like to call the Hathaway Connection. So this is our segment called the Hathaway Connection, where we are just a tad obsessed with Anne Hathaway. And we noticed it back in season 1 of our podcast, how a lot of actors can connect to Anne Hathaway, similar to 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. Are you guys Anne Hathaway fans or no?
I love Anne Hathaway.
I
do
love
too.
her.
I don't think I'm as obsessed as you guys, but I do like her.
We love her movies, and we just, when we were doing one of our episodes, we realized like how often we talk about Anne Hathaway, and we were like, let's just do like a fun little connection, because I feel like every actor, we can connect them to Anne Hathaway some way or another.
Yeah, it's either Anne Hathaway or Stanley Tucci that we just seem to always talk about, and I don't know why.
Where's product?
I love it. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Sue.
Okay, so for Olivia Hussey, is that how you say her name? I hope so. Hussey?
I thought it was Hussein.
Oh,
Hello, French twist.
I like that though. I like that though.
Like, I don't think she's from America. She's not American. She's from, like, I think Italy. Like, she's not American. I don't think.
That would make sense.
Or I could just
That
be
would
making
make
that
sense.
up. Don't quote me.
it's probably better. I called her like Hussy, and I was like, it's probably
I don't think that's right. I'm just gonna call her Olivia. We'll just call her good old Olivia. Okay, so for Olivia it was tough, but it was a lot easier for like to do the connection with Leonard. So Olivia was in the 1990s IT. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm having a brain fart. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Olivia was in 1990s It with Tim Curry, and Tim Curry was in the animated movie The Cat Returns with Anne Hathaway. So that's our Hathaway connection.
Yeah. And I didn't think it could be done with Romeo, but I found our connection. So Leonard was in 1973 Frankenstein, The True Story with Jane Seymour. And Jane Seymour was in The War with Grandpa with Robert De Niro. And Robert De Niro was in The Intern with Anne Hathaway. Hathaway connection.
That
That
is
one
so
was like
true.
that was a deep dive. I was like,
Dang.
what am I looking for here?
I don't even know how y'all begin researching that. That's insane. Like going through every single cast member's past work history. Like,
I am just
I'm
like, I know a lot of Anne Hathaway's stuff. So if I feel like I could just kind of go backwards from there. But with him, it was so hard because I was like, oh my God, like I have no idea. And this was like, it took me like almost an hour looking for people. I was like, okay, I found it.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
dedicated. That is
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, we're like trained though from like kids because our dad used to play the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon with us, where like you would just find actors that connect to Kevin Bacon.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so our brains are just naturally like morphed that way, but now it's just Anne Hathaway and not Kevin Bacon.
Wow.
It's just a whole thing.
I love it. That is amazing. Man. Well, okay, guys, let's go ahead and move on. We're going to talk about how well this film adaptation captured the essence of the original play.
Hey everyone, if you're a romance reader or a fan of the classic novels that shaped the world of literature, you're going to love what we are sharing today. Meet Bond and Grace, a woman-owned publishing house that's turning timeless books into stunning works of art.
Their art novels take classic titles and transform them into oversized editions, pairing the original text with contemporary fine art and modern commentary. It's a beautiful tribute to the stories that shape literature, and a must-have for your collection.
Whether you're into romance or other literary classics, these editions add rarity and elegance to any bookshelf. Plus, the artwork is available as original pieces and fine art prints, perfect for your home decor.
Support Bond and Grace and explore their incredible collections by clicking the link in our link tree. Not only will you be supporting a fantastic women-owned business, but you'll also find something truly special for your bookshelf or home.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to check out Bond and Grace, where the classics meet modern art in the most beautiful way.
I think that the 1968 version of Romeo and Juliet really nails the feel of the original play. I think that the movie does an amazing job bringing in William Shakespeare's words to life with stunning visuals and an authentic setting and just the perfect casting. Is it Leonard?
We're gonna be doing this the whole episode.
We're gonna have to cut all the
We need a
parts out.
diction.
I was like Leonard.
Leonard and Olivia. They were about the same age as the characters in the books, which just made their love story feel even more real and intense.
Yes, it's gorgeous and traditional and very much what people expect when they think Shakespearean romance. But I do think, I mean, of course it's Romeo and Juliet, it's going to be like romantic, but I feel like this film, it leans so much into the romanticism so hard that sometimes I feel it may darken or it may soften the darker edge of the play. And I feel that Romeo and Juliet weren't just star-crossed lovers. They are supposed to be impulsive, reckless, and honestly kind of doomed from the start since they're just, crazy kids. And I think the film romanticizes that a bit more than it challenges it. And I will say, oh my God, especially at the beginning of the movie, I absolutely despised the costumes. I don't know why they gave me the ick so hard. Like, especially the people like actually dressed up like royalty or lords or, higher status. Like the peasants, you look fine, just rags. But all these people had like actual costumes that looked like they got them from Spirit Halloween the week before.
The ick the most was like the man's pants.
Yes.
I don't want to see
Or what else?
like in my face.
Like the
It
red
was
and
so
the yellow.
cringe.
With
and
their
I'm
like ballet slippers. I was like, what is that?
Yes. I was not a fan. But anyways.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but I do agree with that though. Like the costumes were very cringe and ick, but the movie really does capture the play perfectly. And I think that the casting of the movie was really spot on, especially with Olivia. Because when I read the play, I just imagined Juliet being just this like beautiful, like perfect, like just amazing, like looking person. And I think Olivia represented that, her beauty, but also like with the way like she came across the dialogue and just how she portrayed the character was spot on to me. Like just how it was how I imagined when I read it. So yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this movie is probably the most faithful to the play. I mean, there's so much of Shakespeare's original dialogue and how the actors portrayed each character is exactly how I imagined it also when I was like reading the play. And I feel like it was very period accurate setting as well, with even though the costume designs were ridiculous. I mean, I was like, okay, this doesn't look modernized in like the 60s, like I get it could be during that time. And then the architecture, and it helps like immerse viewers into the world of like Romeo and Juliet. So I think for the film being what it was back then, I think it did really well capturing that play for sure.
Man, so as for that, how do you guys feel? Like, obviously the play is a bunch of words on a piece of paper with a lot of dialogue. How do we feel that the film adaptation really was like faithful towards that? How do we think they correlate in terms of the making of the film?
I think that this version really sticks to Shakespeare's original dialogue, so the beauty of the language is still there. With the Italian backdrop and just the Renaissance costumes, it just takes you straight to Verona.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. And as for me, I just remember this was a big reason why we watched this specific adaptation of the book of the play. No, sorry. This was a big reason why we watched this specific adaptation of Romeo and Juliet in high school, just because it was so similar to the actual play we read. So I definitely think it just really stayed true across the board, and it just never really changed much. But yeah, definitely stayed true to the actual play itself.
Yeah, the scripting stayed true to the original text. There were lines that are like really iconic to the play that were said in the movie. So they kept like those important lines in there, and it captures like the language too. And it puts us in that like Shakespearean era, because people like when they like mock Shakespeare, like they say things
Oh, that was
not
like,
now, like yeah, like it just puts us in that like era, and it's really immersive. So yeah.
I'm obsessed with the dialogue. After I read and listened and watched it, I was like walking around the house like, dost thou protest? Dinner, supper is ready.
Oh my god.
No, but I read the play for this episode, I was listening to the audible version as well. And I just love the way that they talk. It's just like so nice. It's like so beautiful to hear. And then when watching the movie, and I have to watch it with subtitles because I'm a subtitle girly, like 100%. I just felt like it was so spot on. So I felt like when watching the movie, I was like, I feel like I could almost recite exactly what I had just read. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
very spot on.
No, very iconic. Do you guys think that any of the scenes hit differently seeing them on screen versus, maybe reading about it?
For me, it was the balcony scene. Okay, for me, it was a lot of scenes, but I feel like we all picked different ones. So I'm going to go with the balcony scene.
Okay.
When it was portrayed, because I feel like the balcony scene is portrayed in so many different movies, TV shows, high school plays, normal play, like anything. You see it all the time. It's such an iconic scene. But I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't stop laughing when they were kissing because I was like, it's so cringe. But the dialogue and the emotions between them were just iconic to watch. And I just feel like you can't watch any version of Romeo and Juliet without the balcony scene.
Right.
But yeah, when they were kissing, I was like, this is so like it's
Yeah.
so extra. Like I couldn't. But that was it for me.
I liked the wedding scene. I really liked that scene. Because just it portrayed like the intimacy of, that moment in the play and then like in the book. And it was really gentle, and it really captured their love for one another. And I'm a sucker for a good wedding scene. Like I love wedding scenes. So I was drawn to this one, of course, when I saw this. I was like, I have to talk about the wedding scene. It was just so intimate and nice, and it's like in the time of like them, they can't be together and stuff, and all of the tragic things that happen around them, they found the time to have this moment together of like, despite everything, we love each other, and we're going to profess that to each other. It's very romantic, and it was really gentle, and I think it was really well done too.
Yeah. For me, a one that really hit the spot for me after seeing it on the screen was when Romeo and Juliet first meet at the Capulets party. In the play, it's a great moment, but just seeing it on screen in a movie version just felt so much more intense. You can really feel just the chemistry between the two, and it really is a good contrast between just all the chaos in the background of the party, and then you just have Romeo and Juliet in their own personal little bubble, just trying to get to know one another. It just made it feel super powerful.
Yeah. Well, as for me, I did not choose any kind of iconic scene whatsoever. But there is this one scene, like, okay, to begin, there were a lot of points in this movie that are just so easy to make fun of. And then I have to remind myself, I'm like, okay, it is the 60s right now. Like, that's when this film was made. Yeah. So I try to remind myself that. But there is a scene where Romeo goes and sees the maid in I think it was the church or whatever it was. And Romeo was trying to give her money for, like, carrying on a message to Juliet. And she's like, no. And then as soon as he's like, fine, and he's about to donate it, she just takes it from him.
I laughed so hard.
And I was like, oh, wait. And I was watching it with my fiance. I was like, did you see that?
No, she just swipes it.
But I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
And she took it real fast. She took that money, and there was like no dialogue about it, you know? And I was like, okay, I really like that. So yeah. And I feel like this is a good point now to move on to our favorite moments from the film. So what are y'all's favorite scenes?
Tim, do you want to go first?
You like the balcony? Yeah, I like the balcony scene. I know that we talked about it already, but like, when I think of Romeo and Juliet, I don't think of like their tragic ending. I think of oh Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? And like, it's because like everyone knows that line. Like if someone were to like if you were to go up to someone random on the street and you're like, give me a line from Romeo and Juliet, that's what
the
they would
line.
say.
Yeah.
And like watching it and even reading it and everything, I was like, I love this scene. Like I got all like giddy. I was like, yeah, I was laying with my daughter when I was reading it. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, Vanessa, it's the scene. She goes, what? It's like, I was like, you'll learn in high school. But yeah, it's just my favorite scene. I liked it. It's iconic.
I'll just piggyback off of Tim. My favorite scene was also the balcony scene where Romeo and Juliet just confess their vows of love. It's such an iconic scene, and just seeing it come to life on screen is just something else. You can feel the intensity of their emotions, and even though you know how it's going to end, how we all know how the play ends, in that moment of them on the balcony, it just feels timeless and classic, and you just hope that it doesn't end how it's going to, but you know they're gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of those scenes. Have you guys seen those videos of people where they play a movie and you know something tragic happens, but they just close they just close the movie?
Oh
Like
my God,
after that
yeah.
part, and you're like, this is where it ends for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's that moment.
No, I know so many people, like, of my friends that will watch, like, TV shows, and they don't watch the last episode. Like, it never ends. Like, the very last episode of the series, they won't watch it. I'm like, you are insane. But they're like, no,
That's
it's
crazy.
never going to be over. I'm like, okay.
They're like, I started over back to season 1, episode 1.
Yes.
There's the moment.
Exactly. Man. But as for me and my favorite scene from the movie, I do think that there were a lot of moments when Romeo was serving Troy Bolton, like, in the face. Oh my God.
He said the exact same word. My husband was right here. And I was like, does he look like Zac Efron? He's like, yeah. I was like, no, but like High School Musical days.
Yes.
Exact same thing.
Yes. No, I noticed it, like, the moment he was, like, crawling through the bushes trying to get to Juliet's tower. I was like, Troy Bolton.
I was like, am I watching High School Musical right now?
Oh my God. But yeah, the acting industry has a type, as we've seen. And so I do think, though, that I would call my favorite scene the one when she definitely fake died, because I like attention too. Pick me. Yes. JK. But I do think the whole dying scene, aside from the whole balcony scene, I think that really makes the whole play so iconic, because if there were no tragedy, then it would just be another love story, I think, like every other one that exists. So, yeah. And then the moment she woke up and realized, like, oh, that hurts,
She's
you
like,
know?
oh, I probably should have done that.
No. So,
Okay, my favorite moment, so I agree with like everybody here, but my favorite moment from the movie was when we first are introduced to Romeo, and he's like walking around, sad boy vibes, like walking up the like street or whatever. And he like looks up and you just see like his blue eyes. I was just like, okay, Julia, like I get it. I get why he's so cute back then. I was like, he's cute. But I enjoy any scene with the nurse. Like to me, she was like so chaotic and unhinged.
Yeah.
And I was like, you have to have like some kind of comedy in this tragic love story.
Yeah.
And so like when you mentioned that part in the church where she like takes the money, I
yeah.
was like, yeah, she's just so funny throughout this whole movie. So anything with her, I like loved it. She's so crazy, but I love her.
Yes. Comedic relief right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, we talked about moments that we loved. Let's talk about some that we didn't like. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Okay. So listen, the costumes, like I said earlier, I hated the costumes. They were like that felt material that is like, so I don't know if it existed, but like, I doubt it did. I don't know that all their big hats had the felt kind of texture looking thing. But the only thing, like, I was like comparing it to, I was like, Game of Thrones does not have costumes like that. You know, how's like all of these like 2020 year. I'm like, okay. Well, anyways, the fighting also really weak sauce. That was definitely like,
Agreed.
this is what we're working with, so we're just gonna And there was a point when my fiance, he was like, they have two swords. They have swords in both hands, and they're only using this one. I was like, I know. I'm like, what in the world? Why are they holding two swords? So yeah, I do think that could have been reworked, but you know, again, 1960s. It did good. It got awards. You know, the movie did good. I can't, really complain. But also, when Romeo is going to see Juliet in the mausoleum, he used a rock. Y'all go back and watch this.
I
He picks up
so
a rock. And Christian, my fiance, goes, "That's not a rock. That's a boulder." But like, it's a rock. So he like just hits the door and it pops open. And I don't know. That was like weird.
Yeah, so weird.
Same. My husband he was watching it with me, and he was like, we're watching the scene. Like, he's into it. He's like, oh, and he like picks on the rock and like throws it, and the door like does something, and then he like pushes the door, and then he was like, was the rock necessary? Because you
Like, no need for that.
So that was strange. And then he goes into the mausoleum, and they obviously are not embalming these bodies. Otherwise, Juliet would have not woken up. So it's got to be stanky in there, because Mr. Cousin over there is also like dead, and he goes and says hi to him. And like, okay, he is a decomposing body. There's multiple bodies that are decomposing in this mausoleum, and there's no like form of disgust or decay on the bodies either. Like, there was no rigor mortis going on. But yeah, I'm just nitpicking now. But anyways.
I'll go ahead. I'm glad like we can all kind of agree like the fight scenes were just they were just very lame.
Yeah.
I was like, when they were like getting stabbed and stuff, I was like, oh my god, like what is it? It's not intense. But there is a scene that I wish that they did have in the movie, and it's with Paris at the end. So he at the end of the play, if I remember correctly, like Paris ends up going to the mausoleum to see Juliet, and when Romeo comes, like Paris like kind of hides, and he says out loud, he's like, he's trying to like ruin the tomb or like harm Juliet, and they get into like a fight, and then Romeo ends up killing Paris, and Paris is like, just leave me with Juliet, and he's like, okay, but like I would have liked to see that scene, because like during the reading and listening to it, I don't know why, but I laughed. He's like, this is the woman of my like, I love this woman, and you are Delulu, Paris, thinking that she wanted to be with you, but I will go ahead and lay you with her. That is fine, but you will not be with her in the afterlife. Like, that's what I felt.
Right.
So I wish they had that part in the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't like that one scene with the the nudity.
Okay.
I fast forwarded it like
Two full moons right there.
Yeah, so because I knew that there was a scene like that in the movie, and I forgot when it was, so I looked it up before I watched it, because I knew I wanted to skip it, because I was like, I don't want to see that, because I knew I was gonna be uncomfortable with it, and I know like the times were weird in the 60s, and I was like, we're not about that life right now, so we're just gonna fast forward. And that's the only scene that I could really think of that I didn't like, because I mean, now that you mention it, like the rock thing, and it's kind of crazy, and then you all talked about the fighting scenes, so I didn't bring it up, but the fighting scenes were like, it's like watching my kids play fighting. I was like, okay.
Yes.
But yeah.
I have like the same thing to say as everyone. The fighting scenes just did not feel real at all. The whole scene, just when Romeo was killing Juliet's cousin, felt too staged, and the way that the characters moved didn't give me that raw, chaotic energy you would expect from a fight like that. Not real. I just didn't like it. And also the nudity, whenever I first saw it, I was like, oh, like they're like 15 years old. This is too weird for me, so I like skipped through it also.
Yeah. It's too weird.
Same.
Yeah.
This is fun. How about so if the four of us, if we were casting agents and we decided that we were going to cast a Romeo and Juliet remake today, who would we choose? Who would like to go first?
I can go first.
Let's hear it.
Very exciting.
Let's hear it. I'm ready.
Okay, so for Romeo, I would choose Tom Hiddleston, and he's the guy that plays Loki in the Marvel in the
Of
MCU.
course. Heck
Okay,
yeah.
I love him. we listen and we don't judge. Okay, I love him.
No.
But like he does plays and he does some Shakespeare plays as well. So I feel like he would just flow like on screen playing Romeo. And then for Juliet, it would be me. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Unless no, just for real though. Like,
It's like somebody's really out there trying to do this movie.
I can
Well, if you're the casting
play
agent,
dead, so it's fine.
honestly.
No, but I think for Juliet, if it were to be paired with Tom Hiddleston, I would choose Lily Rose Depp because she has that like the look of her is just so
Oh my
like
god, her eyes are like this big,
Yeah.
and she's like,
oh my god, like
oh,
I
I
saw
imagine
her-
the emotion in those eyes.
I know I saw her in Nosferatu and I was like, oh, she's amazing. So
Era.
yeah,
So cool.
I think for me, if I was casting for Julia, I could see Millie Bobby Brown. I
Mhm.
think that she's got that really youthful energy, but she can still show like depth and vulnerability, which I think would be perfect for Juliet. She's also just such a naturally beautiful,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which is how Juliet is described. So I think she would be perfect. And Romeo for me was hard to cast because I was like, I want to find someone young who I think would play him. I just didn't know who. Ended up with Timothy Chalamet, which I'm not mad about. I love him. He's
Me
cute.
too. Yeah,
But he's got that youthful intensity, charm, and vulnerability, which I think would really capture Romeo's more passionate side.
Yeah.
I love Timothy Chalamet.
Me too. And I'm a Kardashians girl all the way.
Yes,
So like, I'm really shipping this relationship right now between.
that's how I feel.
God, I am all caught up in that show. Like, I'm just waiting for him to make an appearance like next year.
Oh my god, honestly.
Come on, give it to me. But yeah, for me, I would cast Juliet Jenna Ortega is who I would choose for Juliet. And I just think she like is interesting. I loved seeing her in Beetlejuice and Wednesday, and like those are really dark and gloomy, and they're like, what? They make you
Like, her-
feel a certain kind of way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her death scene would be like so. I think it would be
Yes.
so good.
Yeah.
I think so too.
It's really a good actress. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's just really equal parts soft and sharp, and she just really nails that. And also, I would choose for Romeo, Jacob Elordi. He's tall and brooding, and he's definitely a showstopper in Euphoria.
Yeah.
I bet he could do the same as a Romeo, but what do we have against Jacob Elordi, guys?
Can't stand Jacob Elordi. I like him.
Don't know.
She
I love
can't.
Euphoria. I love Euphoria. I love every character in there. I liked him. It's just something about him. I don't know if it's because I watched The Kissing Booth. I
The cringe.
I just don't like him. Every time we try to play a game of like who should be casted, like when we were talking about Fourth Wing, like who should be casted, I was like, please do not cast him, or if you do cast him for somebody who died. Like I can't.
Oh, the perfect Liam. Yes.
Liam, no.
That is
Oh my God.
funny.
So I thought, because I'm like just obsessed with them and their relationship, I love Tom Holland and Zendaya.
Oh yeah.
I feel like there'd be so much if they were still together if this movie was ever made. There'd be so much chemistry, and then the dying scene would be like, I feel like it'd be so epic. And I think Tom Holland was actually Romeo in like an off-Broadway play recently.
Yeah.
So he can do it. Or I have Tom Holland and Emma Watson.
Emma Watson?
Yeah.
You more like Emma Watson and Tom Felton.
I hate you.
Oh my god, yes! Okay,
That's the one.
I knew. I was
The High Reeves.
I was like, before we finished talking to you guys, I was like, I have to talk to y'all about Manifold.
Oh my god.
I love Manifold.
It's my Roman Empire. I love it.
McKaylee's reading the Harry Potter books now for the first time ever.
Yes,
So I'm
I
just
heard it
first
on your
time.
I am just like waiting for her to finish so I can make her read Manacled.
Okay, yeah, once
ready.
you start reading Manacled, you need to let me know because I've been trying to get Kim to read it for like
Thank God.
months now.
I'm in here and I just have not yet like read it.
Oh my god.
I read it in like 24 hours. Like I stayed up all
Yeah.
night reading it, and it's
I-
like almost 1,000 pages long. Like it's so good.
Yeah,
To this day, to this day, I think about it. I wake up and I think about it.
I've read it like 3 times already. Like, it's just so good. It just lives in my head. I have a little spot here.
Alchemize?
Yeah, I pre-ordered it already. Pre-ordered it.
I was like, same story, different title. Wait, are they changing the character names? Is that what?
So they're different character names, and I think like the storyline is gonna change a bit, but I think for the most part, it's gonna be the same.
I think I read somewhere that she's keeping his name as the High Reeves, though.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank the Lord.
I'm still gonna
have
eat
no
it up
idea.
though. Like,
Yeah, so am I. Like, it's the first time I've ever read it.
Like, I've been begging the publisher, like, in their emails and DMs. I'm like, how can I get an art copy of this?
Yes,
Send
I
it to me.
emailed them
Like,
too.
I'm begging you for it. Like, I've emailed them twice already. I'm like, please send it to me.
I need it. I'm so excited. So you guys have to get it.
I guess
You have to read it.
Another episode?
Yeah,
Once we all get there.
Literally.
we're down. Once I read
My
it, yeah,
God.
we're down. But yeah, that's what I would see. And then also, have you guys seen the show My Lady Jane? On
Mhm.
Amazon Prime?
Yeah,
I've not watched it.
I've seen it on
Yeah.
TikTok, but I've never seen it.
So I was telling Tiff, if you just take this entire cast and just plop them into a Romeo and Juliet movie, I think it would totally work. Like, they're all so good, and it's on that like Regency, or it's like, that era, and I was like, this would work. Like, just take this whole cast, and instead of My Lady Jane, it's now Romeo and Juliet, and like that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
So I have a couple.
I suggest watching that show too if you guys have the opportunity. It's a book as well, but the show is really good. It's funny and it's really witty, and yeah, it's like a romantic-y vibe. So it's really good. I suggest.
Right up our alley.
I know, right?
So we are going into our segment called Art Corner. And we're just gonna do this before we wrap up. So Kim, do you want to let everyone know what our Art Corner segment is?
So the Art Corner segment is where we highlight an author and their upcoming or newest book that's been released. And we would be so honored to give this moment to you, McKaylee, and your new upcoming book, Isle of Lies and Legend.
Thank you guys so much. I am so appreciative of you. Um, my book, Isle of Beasts and Shadows. I get them mixed up all the time. They are not the same. They're 2 different books. Isle of Beasts and Shadows. Long story short, it's about a girl. She goes to an island. It's full of monsters, but while she's there, she hits it off with this really hot Grim Reaper. And then they go back to her kingdom, but the monsters follow. And so chaos ensues, destruction, bloodshed, yes. And we get our conclusion. It is a cliffhanger ending. And immediately the next book, which is not Isle of Lies and Legends. Isle of Lies and Legends is the prequel. It's a novella. That is what I am currently taking ARC applications for. So you do not need to read Isle of Beasts and Shadows in order to understand what's happening in Isle of Lies and Legends. So it's a villain origin story. Is this one the novella? We learn how our bad guy becomes the bad guy.
I love a villain.
Like, yes, we're
Yeah.
thinking dark magic, sorceress vibes, and
I
lots of
love
that.
it.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it already. That is like, yeah, that's what I love to read. So please sign up for the ARC.
Yes, please do. You can find it in my Instagram bio is probably the easiest way to get there. I have a link tree. You click on it, and my ARC application form is right at the top. But that is
perfect.
set to release June 30th. So coming up really fast, and also that might change like by a week or two because I'm going on a honeymoon and it might overlap.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I'm playing that by ear for now, but for the time being, expect late June, early July. But yeah, I'm really excited to get it out into the real world and share it with everyone.
So I got to read like part 1 of Lies and Legends. So good, guys. Like, definitely sign up for McKaylee's little art thing that she's got going on because it's really like super good. Like, if you love that sort of like darker fantasy, definitely check it out.
Yeah.
So good. And like
Okay,
her
I'll be signing up.
her first book, Isle of Beasts and Shadows, like I think I have 3 copies of it now. Like, so good. Like, such a wonderful story. Definitely
Where
check
can
it
you
out.
get your first one?
Yeah, so Isle of Beasts and Shadows, it's audiobook through Audible. It's on Kindle Unlimited through Amazon, and also Amazon, you can buy it from there, and also any major bookstore retailer, Barnes and Noble, you can get it from Walmart,
Get it
anywhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
God.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna get it, all of them.
Thank
Every
you.
copy I can
I'm
probably
a
find.
sucker for Audible. I used to not be, but like my sister converted me, so I love a good Audible.
Yeah, no, I'm such an audiobook girly. I knew I had to have it on audiobook. So I was like, let's do this real fast. And also for Isle of Lies and Legends, the ARC signups, I'll also be selecting a few people for PR boxes. So just trying to market as much as I can and hopefully people sign up and read early versions of the book. So yes.
Well, I'll be on that list. So
No, that's amazing. Well, congratulations
Thank
on that.
you.
We love a good, not even just an art book, but we love talking and helping indie authors. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because no offense to like the big name authors, we love your guys' books, but sometimes like those indie authors, their books are just like so good, and you're like telling everybody like you have to read this book.
Yes.
You have to get it. It's so good. Congratulations for so
Thank
many.
you.
We're definitely
Yes.
your books.
Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hey, listeners, we got something exciting to share with you.
that's right. We're partnering with Second and Charles, the ultimate destination for book lovers, music fans, gamers, and collectors of all kinds.
Whether you're into books, vinyl records, graphic novels, or even games, Second and Charles has an incredible selection at unbeatable prices. And the best part, they specialize in gently used items, so you get amazing deals while giving items a second life.
They've got everything from the latest bestsellers to rare treasures you won't find anywhere else. And if you're cleaning out your shelves, you can trade in your old books, DVDs, and games for store credit or cash.
Plus, when you shop at Second and Charles, you're not just saving money, you're supporting a company that truly cares about its community and the planet. It's a win-win.
To check out all of the awesome stuff at Second and Charles, just head over to their website at secondandcharles.com. You can also find a link on our page to make it even easier for you.
Trust us, you won't be disappointed. Now, let's get back to the show.
What is everybody's perspective? Do you feel like this movie is better than the original play, or is it just as good, or was the play just like way better than this movie? Like, is the book better than the kind of question? Or is it the same? You're like, they're both great for as they are.
I think for me, like Michaela said, she's a theater girl. I'm a theater girl. I did theater all in high school. I did it like in my freshman year of college. I love reading any sort of play. So for me, the play felt better, but it's also like that. It's such a classic. I don't want to say it's worse than the movie because everyone knows about Romeo and Juliet. It's got a little piece of it in everyone's heart. So for me, I loved the play a little bit more than the movie. But I would love to see like a newer version of Romeo and Juliet and see kind of how it compares to this version and see if I have different thoughts. But for now, I think I like the play a little bit more.
Yeah. Michaela, what about you?
Yeah, well, to piggyback off of that real quick, I watched this film adaptation on Amazon Prime, and then immediately after was a Romeo and Juliet TV series. And I believe it was taking place as Juliet was dead and then like Romeo just killed himself. So I don't know. I didn't get to watch all of it, but that was the intro, and I was like, maybe I should go back and see what's happening there.
Oh, yeah.
It was a whole TV show, and it was titled Romeo and Juliet. I was like, oh, I gotta find more about that. But I also think maybe it's hard to say what's better and what's worse because this specific film, maybe in the 60s, if I were watching this film in the 60s, was probably amazing. But, we've acclimated to all these crazy Marvel movies that are going insane with their visuals. So with that being said, I don't know. I do think I prefer the play. I haven't seen this specific play on stage, but I have seen other Shakespearean plays like A Midsummer Night's Dream, and it is so magical, and it's just an unreal setting to actually see a performance on stage that is being like brought to you real time, and it's ethereal. I don't know how to describe something, so it's like happening right then and there.
Different experience.
Yes. So that's it for me. But what about you guys?
What about you, Tiff?
I liked the play better than I think it's because of what you said. We just might not be in the right time to be watching it.
Yeah.
Now we're just so used to all of these special effects and stuff. So when I watched it, I was like, okay, like that was an adaptation. Like that was one of them, you know. And then like also I think the fact that I liked the Leonardo DiCaprio version and like I've seen that so many times that I have the idea of that one being so good.
Like, that is your
so when I watched it, I was like, okay, well that's So I like but like the play I think is just I don't know. I like the play better.
Yeah, I agree. I liked the play better. When I was getting ready, so I was like, okay, let me download this on my Kindle. Let me start reading it. And when I was reading it, I was like, I don't understand what I'm reading. I have to do the Audible as well. So I like downloaded like the theatrical like Audible, so I had like all the different voices. And I was like, okay, I love it. I'm into it. And then I watched the movie and I was like, okay, yeah, for the time that it was filmed, like it was made, yeah, it's a good Romeo and Juliet movie. I prefer the Audible version. The theatrical Audible version. Because I can't sit there and read like a play because I get like, I don't know, it just like takes me back to like high school and I'm just like, I don't really want to do this. So it's like, let me do an Audible with it and I can get more immersed into it. So the Audible was really good if you have a chance to do the Audible version. But yeah, I agree with everyone that we're so used to the movies that there is now, like the Marvels, the effects. And I would like to see a remake now of Romeo and Juliet. I think that would be good. I like to see that. So
Man, well, I have a fun question.
okay.
Maybe. Have you all read A Court of Thorns and Roses?
Yes.
Okay, Kim, have you?
I read the first. What's the second book?
A Court of Mist and Fury.
Okay, I'm on book 2.
Okay.
You know how long it took for her to get through book 1 though? Because she went through book 1, she goes, I just can't, it's boring. And I was like, no, of course it's boring. You have to get to like the end and then that's when the story starts.
And she was like, do the Audible, what is it? The graphic
audio.
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
I was like, okay, put it on. And I was like, yes, I get it. I'm in it. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yes.
I don't know, with it, when I'm reading like fantasy books like that, I have a hard time. And I'm coming from someone who was like Harry Potter obsessed, like obsessed, like
Oh, yeah.
Potter, like I have like this like obsessed. That was like my first book I read, and I'm just like I just can't do it. But if I do it in an Audible version, I can do it.
Yeah. It's like forcing you to go on, so because it's moving with or without you. You're just there to listen. But if you guys had to pick a court to be part of, which one would y'all be in?
Oh, go ahead, Tiff.
Wherever Cassian is where I'll be. Okay, wherever Cassian is, I'll be, okay?
Okay.
If he's gonna be in the night court, then I'll be there. If he goes somewhere else,
Okay, night court baddie.
I'll be there, okay? I love him.
A silver flame squirrel? Or
Yes.
Heck yeah.
I'm the Silver Flames girl. Listen, I love Nesta. People talk to me all the time about it, and they're like, why do you like Nesta? Her story is boring. She's the worst, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you guys just don't understand her.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I love Cassian. I can't.
Right.
That's just it.
can't
I saw him.
pass the man bun. I'm so,
No.
like, if I picture him without the man bun, I love him. But when I picture him with it, it like icks me out.
I didn't.
She's like, we're really chop that.
I didn't notice the man bun. Because I looked up fan art and I didn't notice the man bun until like it showed me the side preview of him. And then I said, okay,
We're already
Listen,
so
we're making sacrifices here, so I'll take it. It's fine.
what about you, Kim? What court would you be part
I
of?
have no idea because I have no idea.
She doesn't know the courts yet. I think
What she knows me best. Where would I be? Where would I go?
She would probably be in the night court too. She's like, I feel like I don't know how far she is in the story, but she's like a night court girly without saying who the person is, you know? So I feel like,
Oh my gosh, you make me feel like FOMO. Like I'm totally gonna just read.
I'm
telling you. I'm gonna binge read all of them right now.
Get to
I'm
reading,
telling
yes.
you. All right, what about you guys?
Oh gosh, what did I originally chose fall or autumn for it, and then I thought more about it, and I got scared. I was like, you know what, those guys are scary. Like Lucian is like out an eye, you know, down an eyeball.
Oh, but I kind of liked him too, though. Like, I'm a Lucian girly.
Yes,
Like, I love him.
I was like, oh, I don't want to mess up and then like dismember my body.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
So, anyways, I can't remember what I originally chose. I think I might have chose Dawn Court or something.
Yeah.
But I have to go back and research. But what about you, Haley?
I am a summer girly. I want to live my best life at the beach with no worries. That's me.
Oh, yeah.
Mr.
That's life, honestly.
Yeah, Tarquin.
Yes.
I don't think I have what it takes to be like a night court baddie. I love that for no.
Yeah, like, yeah. Well, no spoilers, but good for you.
What, and we also like to do, like, what are you guys currently reading right now? Like, what is your, because, you know, we all read and do stuff for our podcast, and it's, like, for the podcast, but,
Yeah.
like, what is your personal, like, this is my book, this is what I'm reading now for me?
I think McKaylee and I are reading the same things right now.
Kinda, yeah.
What I'm on the second book of the From Blood and Ash series. What's that one called,
Ooh.
McKaylee?
Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, and I just finished that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's what I'm reading. I'm on the second one.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to read it. Is it good?
Me and McKaylee have different opinions.
Okay.
I get that.
It's a 5-star for me. It is not a 5-star for Haley.
Okay.
I rated it 3 stars. I think 3 stars is still high, but the writing is not great. There's a lot of repeated phrases, which bothers me a lot.
Yeah.
And also, I've seen this story like a million times over and over. I'm just done with it. So I'm just like, it's very predictable. Like when I was like a quarter of the way through, I was like, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. And then it did happen. So I was like, yeah,
And you're like, well, no,
it's predictable.
she's read too many romantasy books. Enemies to lovers specifically. Like
That's like, I live and breathe enemies to lovers romantasy. So I get it though, like the repetitive kind of story. Sometimes I'll pick up a book that I think I'm gonna like, and then I'm like, oh, this is just like this book.
right.
I'm sure this is gonna happen, and then it happens, and so I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Like while I'm reading it, I just think a lot while I'm reading my book. I'm like, okay, if this happens, this will happen by the end. So I'm always thinking about what could happen while I'm reading. So I think that also gets me as well. So if you don't do that while you're reading it, they'll probably be perfect for you. But for me, it was just predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listened to the graphic audios for From Blood and Ash and Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, so maybe that's why I'm not picking up any of these repeated phrases that you're talking about. So, because they're like acting it out, and then the sound effects are happening, so I don't hear,
Yeah.
oh, the wind howled, oh, the wind howled, oh, the wind, you know, like,
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's
oh,
just repeated phrases of actions and things that are going on. I'm just like, I just listened to that like 30 seconds ago. Like, it feels like it needed like one more round of editing, and then like it would have been okay, but
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Tiff? What are you currently reading right
I'm reading Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I haven't read it, and it was recommended to me by my friend, and she said that it was going to make me cry, and I asked her if it was a good cry or a bad cry, and she didn't answer me. So
now? I love a book that will wreck me emotionally.
Yeah.
Make me cry. I will gladly take it.
yeah. So I don't know. I'm in my like contemporary romance era, which is like so new to me because I'm not used, because I'm like, where are the dragons and where are the
Yes.
fairies and where's your weird, you know? But I'm not that far in, but I like it so far. So yeah, I think I'm only on chapter like 4. Yeah, I'm on like chapter 4. So it's like, yeah.
I I'm currently reading Sunrise on the Reaping.
Oh, that's
Those
exciting.
Hunger Games.
Yes.
Yeah, my husband we had gone to Target, and I think it was like the day it came out or the day after, and their whole setup was just like gone. Like it looked like the whole setup was like fallen onto the ground.
Oh my
Like I was like, there's nothing here.
Vultures.
Get it on like Kindle Unlimited, I'll just get it later. He's like, no, hold on. So he's like looking, he's like, there's one at this Target right here. And I was like, okay. So we go, we got it, and I was like sitting there, and I was like, okay. I was like, I'm gonna read my book, everybody. And they're like, okay. As everybody, my husband and my kids. I was like, I'm gonna read. Start reading, and as soon as I'm like beginning chapter 1, they're like, can I show you something?
Oh,
Okay.
Man.
I'm only on like chapter 3, so but I love the Hunger Games. I was like, I have to read this. I was like, this book is for me. I want to do this. Yes, we'll do it eventually when the movie does come out next year, but right now I was like, this is what I'm trying to read. So
When
Yeah.
you started that one, did you reread all the Hunger Games books? Because I want to read
yeah.
Sunrise on the Reaping, but I haven't reread the series since like 8th grade.
Yeah.
No, I did. I was like leading up to it when I knew that this was the release date. I was like, okay, let me download the audibles for it. Let me listen to it while I work, because I just sit at my desk at work and I'm just like constantly listening. So yeah, I definitely did like reread all these books before I read this one.
I need to download them because I want to read it so bad because I keep seeing spoilers, but it's like I know how it ends. Haymitch wins, but there's also like little spoilers, just
Yeah.
like small things with different characters. I'm like, I need to reread everything. I need to get in this world.
I know I
Yeah.
had to keep like, I was like, everyone's posting about it, and I was like, nope, just skip. And I
Yeah.
told my sister, I was like, I have to get off our account. I have to go to like my normal personal notebook. Nobody's talking about any books like accounts because everybody's talking about this book. I was like, I have to read it.
Nice.
Okay, huge thanks to our wonderful guests, Haley and McKaylee from Two Chicks and a Plot Twist, for joining us to talk all things Romeo and Juliet and its iconic 1968 movie adaptation.
Yes, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, leave us a review, comment, wherever you listen to our podcast. And also follow us on Instagram at Official Page to Picture to keep up with everything book-related, movie adaptations, and more.
And on our Instagram, you'll find our link tree, which includes all our podcasts, guest signups, and our new merch that we just launched.
Yes, so tune in next week as we dive into the literary classic Little Women and both of its movie adaptations with a very special guest.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Bye.